This is another Rasta Now video with your host, Dr. Dave Britton. I have not made a video in a number of months, and there have been a few things that, you know, triggered me to want to make a video, and I did not, you know. But I think it reached a point now where you just have to come and do a very short video, right? Um, One of the things that had urged me to make a video was a virgin of mine, Benji from Connecticut, who relayed to me a conversation that he had with a Muslim devote. You know, I think he said his son was moving towards Islam, and some of the remarks that the son had made had led him to question certain aspects of Islam. And he called me. Yeah, that had urged me to make a video, and I said, "No, it's not. I'm not going to do it at that time. I'm going to do a video on Islam." I've spent a lot of time in the past reading up about Islam from various aspects, Pakistanis, African, and even the community here in New York that they call Ansar Allah community that came out of Bushwick. They used to be on the trains in the robes and they sell books. And I had, bought a number of the books and read about the books and read about Abu Bakr. I also read a number of treatises on Islam, the wars in Islam, the Arabic wars and all of that, yeah. But I didn't do a video on Islam. That is for another time, right? But there is a common theme among religion that we really want to look at, all right? Um, there is a common theme amongst religion, and the common theme amongst religion is the exclusion of science from reality. Basically, exclusion of science from reality. All right. So we coin a phrase called creative logic. And creative logic is the logic that we find in the creative process. You can't remove that. All right. And it might have been ignorance why some people is not aware of it. And I say ignorance, it doesn't mean it in a stereotypical negative way. I mean just not knowing, just basically not knowing the building blocks of this reality, right? At least some building blocks of this reality, not knowing it and not being cognizant of even your own structure, your own, with Rastaman is a body, they say your own structure, and what is happening in your own structure on a scientific level, and that what is happening in your own structure is governed by scientific principles. That is lost to a lot of people, a lot, billions. You know, it brings to mind the brethren them from coming out of Brooklyn too, that call themselves the 5%er, the 5%ers, right? And the concept was 5% of the population know the truth and the rest is blind to it. And that could be true. When we look at Buddhism, right, coming out of India, I had the I Ching, I read a whole lot of stuff about the I Ching, I read about Buddha. Um, we look at Hinduism, again, coming out of India, right? Um, the Bhagavad Gita and all of these things, all right? it lays down, the book lays down principles that are then translated into a kind of shamanism. Maybe because people don't realize that the whole process of creation can be discerned on a scientific level. You can see creation on a scientific level. Right? Christianity is the same way. They removed the science out of it and forced individual, coerced individual, indoctrinate individual to believe in the shamanistic principles of the imagination. Islam, as it's being practiced, does the same thing. Remove the scientific principles and hold on to the shamanistic principles. Right? Muhammad being in two places at the same time. Muhammad leaving Mecca and reach Medina within seconds. You know, that type of um, shamanistic principles that is totally impossible within creation. It's not logical on a scientific level. And creation is scientific, meaning it can be known. As the Greek call it, scienta, mean to know, right? Shamanistic principles cannot be known, therefore it not exists. It's not a part of this reality, because this reality is knowable. You can know it because you're a part of this reality. So it becomes knowable to you as an individual. All right? And that's how you end up with scientific breakthrough. It's not that these people created these things. These people put themselves in a position to know these things, right? So, not going to leave out Hindu Judaism either. There is a Kabbalistic aspect of it, Judaism, right? Where people expect things to happen on a shamanistic level. In a Jamaica called Obia, Asian them call it voodoo, you know, Black American call it roots. Yeah, these things are an anathema. They are not a part of reality, and they remain strictly in the imagination. Right? So that's a common element that's running through all of these religions. And we call it superstitiousness. Uh, but a better word for it is shamanistic, you know, Obia style, voodoo basis for religion is there, right? Voodoo basis for religion is there. We see it in all of these religions, right? The other day, the brethren named Marquette Devon Burton say that all of these religions that I just mentioned were not black people religion. So it's kind of backward for us to embrace any one of them because they're not ours, right? And he's asking, where is the black man religion? Right? And I say, wait, the black man religion is Rastafari, in a sense, because Rastafari is not a religion, and black people don't, African people at the core does not dwell with religion. There's a distinction between acknowledging the creator. I don't like using the word, the article that, right? There's acknowledging creator. It's not worshiping creator. We acknowledge, we don't worship, right? because worship is what brings in that shamanistic element, that obia element, that element that say something need to be created by an individual out of nothing without going through the scientific process. It don't work, right? You have an ailment. The ailment is a result of particular things that's happening inside of your body. There's no way you can claim now that you're going to pray to some Obia God and the Obia God now I will just make everything good. Obia God, I will just snap a finger and you're healed. That's nonsense. That can't work. If that work, it means reality is broken down. There's no reality because everything flow through on the one same stream of energy. The one same stream of energy. And if you disrupt that stream, then you disrupt the whole entire reality. It can't work. Right? So the Rasta man is not a religious man who wants to worship and pray and ask for things from a higher deity. We don't do that. The other day, I see a brethren, well-known personality, inviting people to come to church. Come on down to church. You know, a Rasta man telling people to come to church. All right. And I know he's going to say, and a whole lot of them who claim that they're Rasta man is going to say, but His Majesty was a Christian. And because His Majesty was a Christian, I'm a Christian too. But most of the ones and ones who say that have no idea of His Majesty's spirituality and how he has expressed it because they didn't read his autobiography with a clean and pure heart. They did not. Most of them is going by what somebody else told them. And what somebody else told them was based upon the same logics, you know, chopping bomb on their foot, nail marking at the middle of his Majesty hands, and all of these fantastical rumors that don't make no sense. His Majesty was grounded in reality more than most people understand it. And His Majesty was not a Christian because he expressed qualities in reality that is against the whole precept of Christianity. One example, and we know a lot of ones know of this incident when His Majesty in his autobiography said that he was going across the river in a boat and the boat capsized. Right? And what His Majesty says, His Majesty didn't say, I almost died. His Majesty said, my spirit almost separated from my body. That's not a Christian thing. That's ancient Kemet. That's a whole principle of reincarnation, which was at one time in the 70s deeply ingrained in Rastafari. Deeply ingrained in Rastafari. We hold on to reincarnation. Not that you're going to jump back into this flesh, because it's ridiculous. This flesh is time-based. There's no way you can go out and come back into this flesh, because coming back in this flesh means this flesh has to be born again. But the energy you recognize as the self scientifically cannot be created or destroyed. Science again. So that energy will always be in reality, always be on earth. And if there are living entities on other planets. The energy can always be manifested in any living entity in this universe, without a doubt. All right. So, in Virgin, them say them a go to church, and Rasta man a go to church. Man, that's not Rasta. That's church. That's Christianity. Totally different from Rastafari, because we don't worship. We don't. And we don't dwell on the emotional impact of words. 'Cause that's what happens when you go to church. It's all emotional impact and church. You're gonna die and go to heaven and sweet Jesus, sweet chariot, take me home. We're gonna drink milk and honey and float on clouds all day, and we're gonna be with the Creator. If that's reality, that is all fluff. And it's supposed to make you feel good. If you don't do what you're told, you're gonna die and you're gonna burn in hell. Again, leaning towards the emotional impact of the words. You must react to these things on an emotional level. And we read more than one time that His Majesty was not a man to make his emotion control him. He did not make his emotion dictate his actions. Did not. So, those of us who is coming to us about His Majesty is a Christian, leave it right there. We're not going to dwell into it. Right? But moving on. There is a clear demarcation between science and shamanistic religions. All of them. They all have this superstitious element within them because they fail to see reality. They just fail to see reality. And what we in Kemet had given them as the scientific basis for reality, they somehow turned it into some kind of shamanistic obia logic and use that to hold the people. And they hold a lot of people. Religion is not a multifaceted thing. It's an individuated thing. It's one religion. One. And it is the absence of science, the absence of scientific basis for reality. This is the absence of creative logic. That's the religion. And whether them call it Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, it's the same removal of the scientific basis for reality from the regular consciousness of the masses. We don't want people to know. Why? I don't know. Right? We don't know. But I can tell you this. Right? The basis for controlling people has been religion. Basis for keeping people under yoke has been religion. The basis for creating unnecessary fear within people has been religion. And the funny thing is that all of these religions, all the religions, have engaged in mass killing throughout the creation throughout, I would even say creation throughout modern creation, mass killing. Christians have done a whole lot of killing and try to justify it. And they try to justify it by putting it in the Bible to make it seem like it was reality. The all knowing, all intelligent, all powerful God of the Old Testament repeatedly draw for violence and murder as a first resort. Repeatedly. If you believe that the Bible is extant history, it's real history. Sodom and Gomorrah, kill everybody. Lot wife looking back, turn her in a pillar of salt. Earthquake. Samson killing 10,000 Philistines with a donkey jaw one. It's just murdering. The great flood put Noah and his family upon an ark and kill everybody and every animal and everything left. That's Christianity. And Judaism, because the first five books of the Bible, the Pentateuch, is also the part that the Judah, the I would even say the Jews, but the Judaism is based on. So they murder too. Islam being the younger brother, the baby brother, been all over Africa murdering and killing. The Arabs, them was all over the place conquering and murdering and killing people. Hinduism, up to today, is killing, murdering people. Yeah, Hinduism did that. There's war between Islam and Hindus and Buddhists. They drove 500,000 Rohingyas out of Myanmar and burned many villages and killed a whole lot of people. And these are people who profess in a particular faith, a particular religion. So all of these religions ending up murdering a whole lot of people. A whole lot. From the Crusades to the Rohingyas. From the Rohingyas to Gaza, Palestine. And when the Rohingyas, they have 500,000 people that had to flee and had their village burnt down and all of that. Who in Saudi Arabia said something? Who in the Muslim world said anything? Did Pakistan say anything to Myanmar? Did anybody object? Were there any kind of protestation? Was there any protests by anybody? Did anybody go to the UN and call out Myanmar about the slaughter of all of these people? They didn't. They did not. Nobody did. The Rohingyas are basically black people. So who's going to come stand up for them? Don't expect it. And that is one of the reasons why Margaret said none of these religions is for black people. Because they all have a streak of racism within them. All of them. Muslim them, especially the Arabic Muslim, them believe that they are superior. The Jews consider themselves the chosen people of God, and therefore Goyim should be enslaved. Goyim is less than them. The Christian believe that they are saved and they're going to heaven. And you're not saved, you're going to hell, and therefore you are not equal to them. You are infidel. The Buddhists believe that they are pure, and Hindu believe that they are pure also, and they will reach nirvana, although the society is stratified based upon the color of your skin. They all do the same thing. And they all have this superstitious belief that remove science from reality, right? So let me get to the crux of the matter. If reality is based upon science, meaning the opportunity to know, and when we know what reality is based upon, say for example the human structure, all right, and we know, say, the human body has systems, you know, the circulatory system, the lymphatic system, the cardiology system. It's all different systems that's working together to move this structure. And they are all based upon particular interaction, right? We know that you need to eat a particular amount of calories to at least continue your life. If you don't, you will cease to exist in the flesh. That's science, basically. We know that if you eat certain foods, you're gonna clog up your heart. And if your heart get clogged, it's gonna prevent oxygenated blood from getting to your brain, and then you might have a stroke. And that's boom. Might kill you, or it might cripple you. It's a science. We know that the basics of life in human flesh, or even in a flesh itself, can be found in the DNA. And the DNA can be mapped because they have mapped it. They've broken it down. They go into the DNA and they see the Y chromosome and the X chromosome. They see the mitochondria. They see the one that come from the father that's been coming down all these thousands and thousands of years. And the mitochondrial DNA been coming down thousands and thousands of years that they are able to bring it back to Africa. That's not Gozom voodoo obia. That's science, meaning that is available to be known. We know it and we see what it's based upon. We see what it's made up of. You can pray away a clogged heart. You can pray away diabetes just by praying. You can pray that money come to you out of nowhere and you're not working for it, but you're praying for it. There's no particular beam out there that's under your control, like a genie, where the Muslim them call jinn. You know, that supernatural aspect of Islam, the jinn, who can grant you your most base wishes. There's no jinn out there. It's reality. As long as you get yourself caught up in this nonsense, total nonsense, what's going to happen? You move through this reality and your energy is who you are, move through this reality, stumbling blindly without even acknowledging what it is that you are. You can't acknowledge that, what you are. So, ask yourself this question. If reality is knowable, scienta, if reality is science based, Wouldn't creator be scientist? Or would creator be magician, snapping finger?